Hello, hello, C2E2 2018. Have you guys had a good weekend? Have you guys enjoyed every person who's come on this stage? I need you to yell a little louder on that one. Have you guys enjoyed this room? Yeah? Who is ready to talk about This Is Us? Please welcome to the stage, Justin Hartley! And Milo Ventimiglia!
Hi.
Hi.
How are you guys?
Are you guys glad they're here? You guys, this show is incredible.
Thank you.
Congratulations on the second season finale. It was like so amazing. I have so
Wasn't
much.
it nice to see Kate get married?
It was so nice. It was so nice. There were so many things about that episode that I want to talk about, but there's so many things about the show I want to talk about, and you guys too, right? Yes. Let's start at the beginning. When you guys originally read the pilot, what we see as an audience is so relatable, and I think one of the most genuine things about the show is you watch it and you just feel for each and every character. When you initially read the script, did you see that as well in the writing?
Absolutely.
Right away, yeah. That was one of the things that that sort of drew us all to it. I think and Milo and I, one of the first conversations we had about the script was that it was about people. It was about people and their everyday lives and things that actually happen, and it was like, this is just a dude.
I think it might have been like, aren't you so glad you don't have to carry a gun or wear a uniform or something like that? No offense, but we played a lot of men that have carried guns and worn uniforms and costumes and all of that, so it's just to play.
It was just something different that I had never read anything quite like this, and I remember thinking, you know, man, if we can pull this off, if we can do half as good as what's written, we've got something special. And then when we ended up watching the pilot all together as a group, it was like 10 times as good as it read.
We all saw it. We absolutely all saw how great and how magical this moment was, and how everyone included, you know, it's not just us actors up on the screen, it's the words we're speaking, it's the production value, it's the camera, it's the hair, it's the makeup, it's the wardrobe. It's the men and women that are rigging the lights and making sure the set is safe. I mean, it truly is one of these mathematical impossibilities that this group of people
care so much
and hold it, like Justin actually said it the best. It's like this beautiful baby, and we're all there to protect it.
And the show takes us as an audience on such an emotional roller coaster. I mean, the moments between you guys as actors are so genuine and so real. I'm curious to start with how far ahead do you actually get each of the scripts, and then how much time do you have together before you show up on set?
The time that we get the scripts changes throughout the year. As the year goes on, the writers get a little bogged down with the work. They have too much work to do. And because if you think about our show, we've done 36 episodes in 2 years. Yeah. A lot of times, like a show will do 8 episodes or 10 episodes or 13 or whatever. But so they get a little bogged down, and so we'll get scripts relatively like kind of butting up against when we're supposed to be shooting. At the beginning of the year, though, it's a few weeks, isn't it?
Yeah, it's usually pretty early, and then. I mean, I know, you know, it's tough. Like, I don't get a chance to work with Justin because of, you know, what happened with Jack, and
he died.
Yeah, I died.
We're gonna talk about that.
I'm just gonna say it.
Yeah, I died.
But
like with Mandy, the second we get a script, you know, if I get it, I'm messaging her like, hey, did you get this? Have you read it yet? Can we talk about it? Because Mandy and I, we talk like a married couple, like a real life married couple, about raising our kids, and what do you think about this, and do you agree, and all this, and
Sterling and I are like a married couple too.
Yeah.
I actually have Sterling read the script to me.
Yeah.
I like his voice. I'm like, I'm just gonna close my eyes, read me the script.
Here I go.
But it's crazy. We were flying out here, and we're sitting across the aisle from one another, Justin and I, and like, I was texting Sterling, and then Sterling's calling you. It's like, wow, man, we really are all pretty connected.
Well, you and Mandy have created this dynamic. It is a marriage. Like I know it's acting and suspension of disbelief and all that, but the basis for the relationship is so obvious and so apparent. Did you guys even know each other before you were cast?
No, we met on the I'd say the studio test. Like basically what happens is a process when you're auditioning where you go, kind of you put a tape together and you read with a couple different people. And Mandy and I literally met. It was like, hi, I'm Milo, I'm playing your husband. And then like my face was buried in her neck. It's kind of an odd experience as actors, but one of those things that you do. But Mandy and I, when we did have the role, we just had a conversation. And I said, listen, from action to cut, I am your husband.
Yeah.
So let's make sure we communicate. I'm not happy unless you're happy. Hopefully you're not happy unless I'm happy, So let's really try and build this relationship together. It's important that mom and dad look like a unified front, a secure, group, pairing for the kids. So it was important for us to really make sure that we respected what a real marriage was, because I myself am not married, but playing a good husband, I'm like, all right, I gotta do right by that. We're playing a good father, gotta do right by that.
You play an excellent father and husband, and I mean, even with the husband-wife relationship, there's faults, and that's what life is about,
Yeah, the ugly.
Yeah.
You gotta be able to play the ugly too.
You gotta enjoy the moments in between the nastiness of life, I guess.
You don't want to enjoy the ugly. We about to say that?
Same.
Yeah.
Well, Justin, with your character, you're sort of on the surface. You look, he's got it all. He's a star and beautiful
Good
boy
looking,
and
wealthy, successful, famous.
Wait, but we really see in the episode number 1 and where you guys get to work together, we see what's really going on underneath. So I want you to talk a little bit about how do you, at the beginning you would think, oh, I'm not sympathetic to, his character, but then you end up being extremely sympathetic. How did you create that dynamic?
Thank you. I saw, when I read that character, I saw those things as well, and I was like, okay, so here's this guy, he's got all this money, he's got all these friends, he's got the fast cars, he's got women, he's got everything, fame, you can imagine, he's got everything. And then immediately I was like, no, here's a guy, it's the saddest thing in the world. He's got all of that, and he is standing in a crowded room completely alone. And I thought, man, that is the saddest thing in the world. And that's how I approached him. And you start to see that all of these things that he has in his life that are ridiculous are these masks, right? That he's trying to fill this void with these things that will never, ever matter. But if he's distracted enough, he won't have to talk about his dad's death. And if he's distracted enough, he won't have to talk about how he ruined things with Sophie. And if he's distracted enough, he won't have to talk about how his relationship with his brother and his mom sucks, because he won't have to talk about that stuff and deal with it. And so I approached it that way. And I think that, as honest as I can be with all of that stuff, it allows then for me to have fun with him on the comedy side of it, because I feel like he's earned it. That's kind of how I approach it.
Absolutely, and that comedy it kind of makes you even more sympathetic,
Yeah, he's ridiculous.
In a way,
Yeah.
where he's not
He's
sure,
awesome.
He's
not
awesome.
sure if he's under the
Yeah.
right tree, Love that.
Literally up here just listening is like proud father, and I was like, yeah.
But I will ask, in all seriousness, has he hit rock bottom?
Man, I think we've seen him doing better. He's doing much, much, much better, and I think he's got the will to do better. I think he's got the tools and the wherewithal and sort of the knowledge to be able to do better. And I also think that this is something, though, and one of the things I wanted to make sure that, not me, that we all wanted to make sure that we did when we were telling the story, as do you, is that we didn't want to do like a Hollywood, quote-unquote Hollywood thing where it's like, okay, well, there's a problem, and then by the end of the episode or by the end of the arc, the 3-episode arc, it's figured out and it's fine, and now he's good. So this is something that when people deal with mental health issues and opioid addiction, and that's really something that becomes part of the fabric of your being, and you just deal with it, you cope with it the rest of your life. It's part of you.
Every day.
And so, it was important that we told the correct story and that we were, respectful of people that are going through that. It is a very real, very serious thing. And is part of you now, right? So that's where he is. So has he hit rock bottom? I hope so. But people make mistakes. He's not perfect, and so we'll see. You know, I think his heart's in the right place, and I think he's smart, and I think he knows what he wants, and I just hope he gets it.
I do too.
Yeah.
And Milo, let's talk about the death episode.
Okay.
The
Great.
A rare opportunity to talk to somebody after they die.
Fortunately, we have multiple timelines. So when did you find out, in fact, that you were going to go to the hospital and it was actually going to be the smoke inhalation and not in the fire?
I'd heard that very early. Our boss, Dan Fogelman, is very kind with filling us in and making sure that we know what's coming and what situations we're going to be in so we can prepare and do our work properly. But I knew pretty early on that it was, in fact, smoke inhalation because he'd run back in for a few prized possessions of the family. You know, it was one of those things, you know, just like Dan Fogelman, to, you know, take this moment where this man is being so heroic in getting his family out, but also, you know, he's thinking about these small things like, you know, Rebecca's necklace and the photo books and the dog and all of this. He's just trying to always give to his family, you know, but ultimately, you know, he gave the one thing that he probably shouldn't have, you know. But also, Jack's not a fireman. Jack doesn't understand, you know, the actual numbers and the metrics of smoke inhalation and spending time in there, and it was pretty heartbreaking.
How was filming that scene? Was the fire practical? Was it CGI?
It was real.
Yeah.
No, that was real fire. That was
Looked
real fire.
Yeah. I was worried about your hands.
Well, no, there were moments. So what we had built the upstairs to the Pearson house and the exterior way out in the outskirts of Los Angeles for, one, safety, and two, secrecy. Because a lot of people tend to figure out where we're filming and they'll try and get ideas about what we're up to. And this was something that was so protected. I mean, we even had scripts that were printed on red paper so you can't photocopy them.
Oh.
Yeah. But we were filming and we had these flame bars, like 6-foot flame bars that had, you know, the flames would go about 6 feet high, 7 feet high. And they'd have this kind of like whining kind of when the gas would go through the line and the fire would be up. This one time, we had the door closed, and it was the moment where Jack is about to take Kate and bring her into the hallway. This is before, though, he realized the fire's out of control. And before we closed the door on that, I'm seeing our effects guys, our practical effects guys, just putting this like putty stuff on the ground and on the walls, and I'm like, man, that's gonna light up pretty good. So they roll the cameras, the door is closed, Hannah's standing behind me. All of our crew that's in the room filming have full fireman outfits on with like Nomex face masks.
And you're in pajamas?
And I'm in pajamas.
You're looking out.
That were fire treated. They were safe. You know, my face too, fire makeup. No, there's no such thing as fire makeup.
It's called burnt.
Yeah. It's called soot. And the camera started rolling, and then you hear the flame bars come on this, wee, and then it gets overtaken by this, whoa, 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 like this loud, angry fire. And I remember I looked down at one of our cameramen, it was Bo, and he's just got, you know, his eyes through these little things, and he's on his camera, and he looks up at me, because we're both hearing the same thing and going, oh, fudge, we're about to open this door. And, you know, action is called, and I opened the door, and I saw the angriest sight I've ever seen in my life. More angry than a human being, more angry than anything. It was this real fire that we were staring down. And I was honestly like, this is real. This is terrifying. And I remember closing the door, and then Glenn, our first assistant director, was like, no, we need to open the door and shoot some of the flames. So we opened the door, and then the fire starts licking into the room. And I'm like, no, close the door. Glenn, close the door, close the door, close the door. Yeah, that shit was real.
I mean, it's moments like that you don't really, as an actor, have to prepare for, because you're there, and I mean, you're literally saving your kids, you know? I mean.
Yeah. And you know what? And for us, the crew, making that scene, it literally was, let's get everyone home safe. Let's get everyone home safe, because these are not circumstances that everybody is used to. So, you know, safety first, second, and third, and it doesn't, you know, you get through the day, and then you got to drive home when you've been working nights all night. So it's like, once everybody was accounted for, almost like a pilot, you know, in a crashed plane. You got all your passengers? Great, we did good.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys, there's often emotional things that happen on the show with both you guys in different scenes. How do you let go of that at the end of the day?
Easily.
Yeah?
It's technique. I mean, there's a tech. I would say, you know, they ask me if it's hard to go there, to get that emotional. And first of all, the show's written so well that it's not, if you just believe the words that you're saying and you listen to the words
and you look your co-star in the eye.
Yeah, you can't help it. At least I can't help it. For me, though, it's not about being able to get there. It's about, and I learned this really early on. If we have any actors in the audience, I'll tell you like something that's pretty awesome, I think, is not the technique to get there, because you get there, it's not hard to get there. But if you have a technique to get you out of there, then it frees you up to not be so scared to go there, because you know you can get out whenever you want, you know? So
I'm going to back you up and say yes.
yeah, same.
Same, ditto. That's really good advice. You guys can ask questions.
You guys got any questions?
There's two sides of the stage here, not the aisles, but go on the perimeter so that everyone can see. We'll get through as many as we can. And while they're lining themselves up, Milo, I want to know, did you call out when she was at the vending machine in the hospital? What was that you calling out right before you died? What was that moment?
Oh, when you actually heard
back.
Jack's voice say Rebecca.
Yeah, back.
What do you think?
I think, well, I mean, I think yes. What do you think?
I think it's whatever you think.
Justin? You guys? I know there were, you know, because on the day when we're filming, there are a lot of pieces that are not part of the filming, but they get added in, and moments that get added in and laid on top of and layered into.
Yeah.
And that was a moment that I had to do in a sound booth, recording different versions of saying Beck, Rebecca. Some were loud, some were panicked, some were actually a whisper, literally just like Beck. And I couldn't recall what was exactly used or when it was used or even why it was used, but I like to think that was just Jack just saying his wife's name one more time.
Yeah, I do too. It was so powerful. Hi, we'll start. Or maybe we'll start.
Who let the eagle in?
I'll answer that.
You know what?
Who let the eagle on the mic?
I think we'll start on this side, guys, while they get that sorted. Hi.
Hi, I'm Brandy. I'm from Chicago.
Hi.
I have a question, maybe directed more towards Justin, but both of you if you'd like.
Okay.
With the relationship dynamics between Kate and Jack and Randall and Beck, what would you say that Kevin, I guess, how did that affect him, you know, going into his older years and into what we see him now?
How would can you repeat that?
Sorry, the acoustics are very tough.
The relationships, you know, Jack is very close to Kate.
Oh, got it.
And then Beck and Randall. So
Yeah.
how did that affect your character growing up and going into what he's into now?
Oh, good
Do you
question.
think that kind of,
Yeah,
you know,
I
tailed
think
him a little?
that's a good question. I think tremendously. I think that part of him feeling like he's always like the fifth wheel
Right.
or left out, whether that's the case or not, that's how he feels.
Sure.
So I always say it doesn't really matter what's actually happening. It matters how you feel about what's happening. And that's how he feels, right? So, and then interestingly enough, he's an actor, right? So he wants attention. And then he's, you know, I don't know, he's constantly, like I said, trying to fill his life with things that don't matter. He's trying to fill that void. And I think for sure, I mean, I think he kept his mom, you know, at a distance because of, you know, in his mind, she favored Randall. And then in a sense, he you know, his feelings for Randall are because of that, right? I mean, he resents him in a way because that's how he sees things. and he's got this great relationship with Kate, but that's a codependent thing.
Right.
He misses his dad. He's never going to have another conversation with his dad ever again.
God, if he could have just read that note that was in the fire that Jack put on.
Yeah.
Ooh, how heartbreaking was that?
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I think it informs.
You're grounded, I love you.
Yeah. I think he texts me that every morning.
I do. Yeah, I really do. I
You're
love
grounded,
you, man.
I love you.
You're grounded.
No, but I think it informs everything that he does, and who he'll become as well, which is going to be kind of fun to see, which we have a little bit of insight in. It's going to be really cool.
Third season, guys.
Yeah.
Ooh, I can't wait. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Maggie. I'm sorry, I'm so nervous. Okay.
Okay. It's okay. You should see our view. There's hundreds of you.
Okay, so what was the most difficult scene for you guys to film? Like, both, like, acting techniques and, like, just, like, emotionally?
Good question.
Got it. Great. I had a couple. If you guys notice Jack, he doesn't cry much. He's very stoic. He's kind of, the rock in the storm. I myself cry. I definitely am emotional. Things really, really do get to me. So I've had a few scenes where I just had to keep my shit together. Sorry for the young ears, guys. I apologize. Sometimes I curse. Sorry.
It's okay. They're used to it.
But
You're grounded.
I'm grounded, but I love you. There was the scene where Jack is taking Randall to karate. I really had a hard time not sobbing my eyes out. Really had a hard time. And then another moment, the moment where you see when Rebecca sees Jack dead on the table, and I'm just kind of fuzzy in the background. That was a hard moment because my friend Mandy Moore is breaking, and I'm hearing this half of her is dying, her character, and that was just really hard to hear. So that was a moment that I just had to be still. Because I didn't want to, be like, no, I'm good. It's all fake, it's makeup. These wires don't mean anything.
Well, probably as an actor, the more still you were, the more you gave her to work with.
Exactly, yeah.
Also, like not reacting was
yeah.
just as important as.
Yeah, totally. Totally.
It can be
Justin?
tough. It can be tough. To your point, like being different than Jack, when you said you're a crier and he's not, and there are times when you got to hold it together. Kevin does this thing where, and it's more of a logistic thing. I think it's a practical thing. If you're an actor, you want people to be able to understand the words that are coming out of your mouth, and it's helpful. And I personally, Justin, I do this thing in life where if I'm emotional, I can't really talk. Like I just had a tough moment last week with one of my animals, and I couldn't talk. I was not crying necessarily, but I couldn't I couldn't talk. And so with Kevin, he gets emotional like that, and he's got to talk through it and be audible. And so that's kind of a logistical nightmare for me, really, to try to figure out how to talk while I'm doing that. It's interesting. I wish I could do more of that in my personal life. Yeah, but I can't just shut it down.
Well, that's a great question. Thank you so much. Thank you. Hi.
Hi, I'm Pam, and I'm from Mississippi.
Hi, Pam from Mississippi.
So this is for both of y'all. I have watched Milo on a talk show, and where you got emotional talking about your father, that you draw Jack from your father. So just a shout out for fathers or forever.
Thank you. Yeah, shout out to fathers, absolutely.
And then to Justin, the tears. The moment when you lost Jack's necklace and you were out there crying. That's the moment that I lost it. I was sitting there just bawling, and my kids are looking at me going, "What's wrong, Mom?" Because I'm like in tears. So where deep, you're talking about emotions, but where deep does that come from for you? Where do you go when you think of something that could get you that emotional?
Man, that's a great question. Two part answer. Number one, I don't talk about it because if I talk about it, then it's like therapy, and then it doesn't work anymore.
Oh, okay.
It's like well, that doesn't work anymore. I've done that before where I'm like, well, I can't
Don't
use that
tell
anymore.
them where the secret fortress is.
No.
Fortress of Solitude, man. Yeah.
Right.
Superman doesn't want you to know.
No. But I will say to you that I do not believe my mind can bend metal. So I use things that may or may not have happened, or if they haven't happened, that if they did happen, they would be absolutely devastating and, you know, put me in a rubber room and put handcuffs on me because I don't know what I'm going to do. So I use things like that. I do not think my mind can bend metal, so that's kind of a safe thing for me to do. But I don't know. Life is tough, right? So we all have our moments, and I think if you go into that, what I always call like in a private moment, and you're honest with yourself, I think it's, gosh, I mean, can you like that's all he had.
That actually might have been that episode was a beautiful episode, and you know, such a showcase and for people to really see what you are capable of as an actor. But that same moment in that episode, I was in tears the whole thing.
Yeah,
the whole
me too.
thing, because I knew it was coming.
Yeah.
And you know, you portray this man so beautifully in that moment of loss, especially and longing to be connected to his father. And I'm like, and I'm the father on the other end, and like that hurts. I'm like, no, I'm here for you, son.
Yeah,
It
was,
hurts.
and to me, it was that thing was like it wasn't like that's the only thing that he had of his father, and that's all he had. That's the only thing he had of his father that represented what his father was before he became what he's becoming, and it was just this horrible, you know. It was the last thing.
God, even the moment where, well, when he gives him the necklace and he says, you know, you were my purpose, Kevin.
Yeah.
Like that whole thing's,
Yeah.
you know.
It's well written too. I mean, the show is so
Yeah.
well written that it makes our job a lot easier, to be honest.
It's very, very, very easy.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
both.
Zippy.
Yeah.
Mississippi.
Mississippi.
She had
Hi.
it y'all in there.
Hi, I am
Hi.
from the northern suburbs of Chicago.
Hi.
And in both of your roles, Milo, you as Rocky's son, and Justin, you as Kevin, have gotten a chance to work with Sylvester Stallone. And in both of those roles, his character imparts wisdom to you two. And so I'm wondering if off camera you could share any words of wisdom that Sly gave to you, Milo, and to you, Justin.
Sly is one of those great, great artists and men who you just have to shut the hell up and be around, and you will get all your lessons. He is kind, he's giving, he is wickedly funny, and he really cares about the process of filmmaking and what each character is going through. I mean, if you think about Balboa, he wrote this character, he hung on to playing this character, and it has touched so many lives and created so much conversation about the underdog that inspires everyone. But here's this guy who just, as an artist, wanted to tell a simple story. You know, there haven't been direct moments where Sly has said, hey, you know, you should do this or that or the other. But what he does do is through example and just being himself and knowing, I think, the responsibility of all the eyeballs that are on him, even guys like us, like we're the next graduating class. You know, he's the veteran. He's the guy that we looked up to. And to be able to share time with him on set and then off, honestly, I just felt like a sponge. I just wanted to soak up the experience and watch the way that he would work and respect the crew and the cast and demand hard work, but it was in such a way that was inspiring, not only as an artist, but also as a man. Yeah, Sly is one of the greats. He is one of the greats.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, he showed up. He you know, it's interesting. He walks into a room and you're like, oh Christ, I'm doing a scene with Rocky, and it's overwhelming. And within 30 seconds, 10 seconds,
Yeah, right.
you're talking to a guy, and so you realize. Like, he's got that job. I don't have that job where I'm showing up on set and someone's going to work with me and be like, oh, God.
No, you have that now. He makes you feel very comfortable right away.
Right away.
Right away.
Yeah. It's a big responsibility, but he's a movie star. I mean, the man that is what a movie star is. Yeah. And then at the same time, at the end of the night, it's cold and it's wet and muddy, and we've got to do this scene where, and I never really thought about it, but his character is supposed to be like in the mud.
He's laying under a truck.
Laying under a truck with fire all around him, like in the mud. Like, is this good? He's just awesome. He's awesome. Yeah.
He's down to play. He's
great.
He's one of the greats.
He's great.
Yeah. Thank you. And people forget, like you said, writer, director, like
Actor,
full
producer.
understanding. Yeah.
You should see his paintings too.
Oh yeah.
It's awesome.
He's
Yeah,
amazing.
Sly is an artist, man. He's the epitome of an artist.
Yeah. Hi.
Hi, my name's Miranda from South Bend, Indiana.
Hi, Miranda from South Bend, Indiana.
Hi.
My God, wait, did that rhyme?
Yeah.
I'm Miranda from South Bend, Indiana.
Yeah. Okay, so my question is, in the show, both of your characters struggle with addiction, and I was wondering what kind of research went into playing that character, and where do you think the addiction stemmed from?
I mean, I think it honestly stemmed hereditarily, probably started much before Jack's father even. And Jack kind of passed it on to his boy. And me, I've had a lot of friends who have struggled with different various forms of addiction. And you understand, much like Justin was saying earlier, it is an everyday, every moment thing. Every day, every moment. Jack never beat alcoholism. Jack is fighting alcoholism every single moment, probably until the night he passed away. So I know what I was trying to do with it was be respectful of the men and women that struggle with that daily, constant, minute-by-minute fight, and paint a real picture of how awful its ripple effect is. We have as people, the choice of decision. Do this, don't do that. And I think sometimes with regards to addiction, that overtakes that right desire to do good. And what I've found, a lot of close friends that have battled this, when they would see the scenes that Justin had played or I would play within the context of addiction, I think they were very grateful that it was told in a way that people, an audience, could understand what it is that they battle every single minute of their lives.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Hi.
Hi, my name is Trisha. I'm from Willowbrook, Illinois.
Well, that didn't rhyme.
My question is for Milo. So I really loved you in Heroes and a little show called The Whispers.
Oh, yeah, you watched that. Thanks.
I sure did. So I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about your experience on Heroes and The Whispers. And do you think that we can go ahead and just blame Drill for Jack Pearson's crockpot incident?
None of you watched that show because none of you have any idea what she's talking about. Okay, Heroes was great. Had a good time. Much like Justin was saying, Smallville was, one of those first shows that was kind of bringing popular superhero culture to the masses. I felt like Heroes was one of those early television shows that was taking an X-Men idea and plugging it into mainstream. It was great. We had a good time. We enjoyed it. There's I don't, without getting like specific, but, we really had a great time on that. And The Whispers, that was a show that just, sadly, nobody watched. There was this bad character. It was an alien. It was.
That'll happen from time to time.
It was very
time
good,
to time,
though.
and over and over and over again. How many shows have you been on that people haven't watched?
Thank you for the question.
Because I've been on a lot.
If I told you more, there are more people here than there are shows that I've been on that no one watched, but not by many. 10? I don't know, a lot, yeah.
Anyhow, there was this alien creature named Drill that was responsible for electricity. God, what a great tie-in. I never thought about that. I just thought, don't blame it on George, the neighbor.
So I was going to bed one night, and I don't know, my mind was just running through.
You unplugged every device in your kitchen.
And I thought of this question, and I jumped up, ran out of bed, and scared the crap out of my boyfriend in the kitchen because I was so excited about this ridiculous connection that I made. So
that's incredible.
I'm really glad that you found the humor in it.
So basically what you're saying is your past comes back to kill you.
Well, yeah, so just be careful. Drill, he's always out there.
Yeah, that's kind of my past. Drill, I just hope, a bunch of gangsters or, wry humored teenagers don't come back and haunt me.
Thank you very much.
You got it. You
Thank
knew who
you
I was
so
talking
much.
about. Yeah. Thank you.
You know, it's true though, when you mentioned like all the different credits that you guys have on your resume, people kind of see one thing and, you know, but it takes a long time to get to a place where you're part of something really special like This Is Us. You know, it's not an overnight thing. So, congratulations, I guess.
Thanks.
Thank
Yeah. Hi.
Hi, I'm Liz. I'm from LaGrange Park, Illinois. So in the show, you know, they use Jack Pearson as a verb. So like you get Jack Pearsoned. Just wondering for both of you, is there a moment in your life, like in real life, that you've been Jack Pearsoned or that you've Jack Pearsoned someone else?
I've been Kevin Pearson.
What?
No,
But tell me what this is. And then I'm leaving. What is it?
No, because he's a successful actor or something. Like you get pulled out of line, and like kind of like.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been Kevin Pearson.
Oh, that's cool.
It was nice. It never happens. It was the first time. It was like a month ago. I was waiting in line for a restaurant, and someone walked over and said, "Table for two," and I went, "Yes. What about the other 45-minute wait and these like 70,000 people there?"
They're like, we're Kevin Pearsoning you.
basically.
Come on.
It's a new term.
This is a new one, Kevin Pearsoning. I've never been Jack Pearson. I wouldn't even really know the definition. I mean,
But like a movie moment, you know? Like the things in your life that happen that are like movie moments.
I was pretty cool getting pulled out of a 45-minute
yeah,
line to go like sit at the
I
table
think
right away.
That could be a Jack Pearson
That's
thing.
never happened to me before. I don't think it's ever gonna happen again. It was rad.
Have you been Jack Pearson?
Yeah, a few times.
So you want to share?
I'm really nervous right now, so I can't think of one off the top of my head. But I'm all about enjoying the little things. So like those moments that happen that it's like, oh my God, yay, everything just worked out so perfectly.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so
Thanks.
much. Thanks for bringing that up.
Thanks.
Hi.
Hey, I'm Ziggy from Detroit. I wanted to ask Milo, you've been involved with creating some great comics, and a lot of people talk about how This Is Us is paced like a comic book. So I wanted to ask if you could ever see yourself writing superhero comics or anything else in the future, or even being involved with writing This Is Us in other media.
First of all, no one wants me to write This Is Us. I don't want me to write This Is Us. We've got amazing writers. We have a team of the most brilliant minds of the written word. Really, we truly, truly do. In terms of comic books, yes, you know, in the past I've been involved with a lot of great writers and had put out some titles, you know, through Top Cow, Image Comics and whatnot, Berserker, Rest. It's been a while since I've been in that world. Although backstage at the other stage we were just on, I saw a guy walking around with a copy of Black Hole. I was like, that is a great book. And he looked at me so confused. I'm like, yes, I read comics. And it was great. But it's been a moment since I've had time to not read for purposes of work. So I welcome any and all suggestions of comic books that you guys are reading and loving at the moment.
Yeah.
But not right now, but later. But anytime, really. Tweet at me. Let me know.
You can tweet him the comic suggestions.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
man.
you. Hi.
Hi, I'm Emily from LaGrange, Illinois.
Emma, you've got the most sparkly hat, and
I
it's
sure
nice
do.
to see you.
Yeah, you could probably see me from there. I got to pose in a picture with you guys yesterday with my friend as smoke detector and crockpot, so thank you for that. That was fun.
That's an
Slow
uplifting
Slow cooker.
picture.
Slow cooker.
It
Slow
was
cooker.
wonderful. My question is, now that you guys have done 36 episodes together, you've kind of seen each other's versatility as actors. My question is there a particular actor, coworker on set that you picture in a particular role or would like to see in a particular role?
That's a good question. Gosh, I think my cast could do anything. I mean, honestly, I see.
Wouldn't it be crazy if all of a sudden there's a This Is Us episode, like some kind of crime anthology?
You could do that.
Like, you know, there's that show like American Crime, and then it just like, they do like tell different crime stories. How crazy would that be if all of a sudden the ensemble of This Is Us is just telling a different story, like
Completely different.
The Wizard of Oz?
Like, that would be the weirdest crossover.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think honestly, I see every single one of our cast members doing like a superhero. You know? Yeah. That'd be awesome. different superheroes. How about that? There we go.
It works. Thank you. A nice hat. Hi.
Hi, I'm Tony. I'm a school teacher from Illinois.
First of all, thank you for being a school teacher.
You're welcome.
No, seriously, that's awesome. Like that is such an amazing job to influence young minds and stick with it because kids can be difficult or tough or hard to inspire at times. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
I love my job. I just wanted to ask this question. You guys probably don't have data or statistics, but do you get feedback from your fans about how the show has influenced adoption?
Yes. I do not have hard facts about, let's say, adoption spiking up because of the show. But what I have gotten is walking off of a plane in New York from Berlin with Chrissy Metz, and a woman walked up to us and me specifically and said, you know, my husband and I adopted a boy, and he was having a really hard time, our son was, and we were watching this show, and my husband was also having a hard time, but he watched how you were as a father on that show in trying to connect and relate to your adopted son, and it's really helped us, and in turn helped our son. And I thought that was such a remarkable thing, that a television show that runs the spectrum of many different things that we all experience and deal with is able to inspire a couple who is adopted not of their own blood and given a home to someone who might have a rough go at life, and they're finding a way to make it work because of the words that we're reading while wearing
awesome.
makeup. You know, it was really a significant and impactful thing, and it also made me as an artist think about what we're imparting on an audience and even subconsciously putting out into the world, and it's good, and it's hope, and it's inclusion, and it's all those wonderful things that I think a lot of us are missing in our own lives and kind of the world right now. So it feels nice to be a part of that statistic.
Thank you.
Thank you. So obviously filming and working is pretty demanding emotionally. So I'm wondering what you guys do in your personal lives to sort of fill you up as artists and also just to relax in general. Like, what do you watch? What do you read? What do you geek out about?
Yeah, gosh, I do. What am I watching right? I just finished. I do watch a lot of TV, more than I used to. I read a lot.
Do you watch TV while we're making the show? Because I can't.
You mean at work?
No, not like you're sitting in your trailer, like, I'll be there in a minute, I'll be there. No, it's almost done. Come on, the dragon's almost here.
No. You mean, I have the news on or nothing on or music or
I'm
something.
just saying, like, when you get, like, the course of the 7 months it takes us to film an episode, are you watching, like, keeping up with other series?
No.
Like, I can't.
No. Yeah. I do, like, right now I will. Like, I just watched that series, 7 Seconds.
Oh, yeah.
That was pretty good.
I was watching The Marvelous Miss Maisel.
Great. That's good.
Isn't that awesome? Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll do stuff like that. I caught up on Game of Thrones. I did all that.
Yeah.
I read a lot. And believe it or not, I mean, the show is it is emotional, and you know, it does take you places that are that you probably aren't comfortable going to all the time, or you don't want to live in all the time. But honestly, we're laughing all the time on that set, and I think that's what allows us to sort of go there for those moments. Is we're constantly laughing.
It's a happy group.
It's such a happy. Well, we love our jobs. We're happy to be there, but also it's just these people are hilarious. It's like, you know, and then one minute you'll be laughing, and then like literally 3 minutes later you're crying with somebody. It's kind of we probably look like crazy people.
That's how Mandy Moore would describe you guys.
Crazy people?
Because the funny part is, like, there's the present day version of the show, and that's like you and Sterling and Chrissy and Sully and John Huertas and, you know, Susan, and Mandy would talk about how everything's very light and fun and exciting, and poor Mandy is like, you know, I lost my husband, I lost a baby, like all these things.
Yeah.
And she'd always talk about, she's like, man, it's so happy over there. And like on our show, it's like more heart and the kids and all this. And
yeah, we're partying.
You guys totally are. But she'll talk about how you'll be laughing, ha ha, and jump right into.
But there's a real trust amongst you guys to be able to do that, I imagine.
Yeah.
And a real camaraderie. And I think
sure.
that's one of the things that is very clear to the audience and makes it so watchable. Hi.
Hi, Justin and Milo. I'm Stephanie, and this is Bella from Chicago.
How are you?
Hi.
Fine, thank you. I had a really deep, emotional question, but my daughter loves you guys, so I'm gonna let her ask her question.
How is your relationship with Kate in real life?
Oh, good question.
Milo.
Yeah, no, she's.
For Milo.
Oh, for Milo.
Bye, Justin.
But you want to hear
Yeah,
from
buddy,
Justin
come back.
too, right?
Yeah, we do want to know
Justin and Milo.
Yeah, I don't. Oh, thank you, sweetheart. I thought that's what you meant. No, she's great. Chrissy's wonderful.
Did you see how she did that? Justin and Miles.
She's wonderful.
I mean, I have, I've got the youngers. I have Hannah and Mackenzie. Justin has Chrissy. But starting from the top, Chrissy is amazing. She is such a beautiful soul and such a beautiful human being and woman that, she just kind of radiates this light and this inner joy, and she's so humble. But man, she is so fierce at work in what she does, when she's able to deliver, that I like to just enjoy what that performance is, and I'm kind of able to because I get to be an audience because she and I don't really work together. With Hannah and with Mackenzie, I get that front row ticket, I get to be right there in the front, just like a foot away from what they get to do as actors. And it's inspiring and it's beautiful. And I get to even help them along the way because I've been doing it for, thousands of years and they're, relatively new to it. So it's fun to see their growth, but they're both awesome people, awesome, talented people. So it's fun. And my relationship hopefully, is just kind of like Jack is to Kate, just I'm there for them and I'm always protecting them and always looking out for them because they deserve the best.
I'm curious, what was your mom's question? Now you've got me intrigued.
The deep question. Yeah, what is that deep question?
We have time for that, don't we?
Uh,
Yeah, go for it.
okay,
You guys
well,
are cool with a deep emotional question,
I know that
right?
somebody.
David? Great.
I know someone had said that you had an interview on who you got your inspiration from to be such a great father. Yeah. We love you. We love you as a father. Me and my daughter adore you as a father. And I just wanted to know, can you delve more into that? Because I didn't see that interview.
So actually, if you want to, I can tell you what it was. We were at this thing called the Paley Fest. And the very last question that was asked, a gentleman asked me who my role model was, and I started talking about my father. But also, as Jack, what I think about are other great fathers. I think about my friends that are great fathers and how they are with their sons and daughters. And, I think about sometimes how hard it must have been in moments even for my father with his 3 kids and everything. So for me, it's 2-part. There's the words on a page, which, like Justin said, get me 85, 90% of the way there. And then the rest, I just have to show up with the words in my head and be present, just as, my father would be, or Justin as a dad, or some of my other close friends as fathers would be.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. 2 great questions. Thanks. Hi.
Oh, hi there. My name is Becky. I live in Appleton, Wisconsin, but grew up here. So I just wanted to thank you guys for coming to Chicago.
Thank
I
you
feel
for coming.
The Midwest is kind of overlooked. So, but if you need a tour guide, if you're here for the rest of the day, I know my sites. I know the good restaurants. I'm just saying, grew up here. So
It's crazy. So you just said if you need a tour guide, and these screens in front of us, Charlie Cox popped up wearing glasses as a blind man. It's like, oh, that'd be an interesting tour.
yeah, that would be
Like
something.
find all kinds of trouble that he just get us out of.
Yeah, I know, right? So my question for you guys is, who is your favorite character that isn't your character and why?
On the show?
On the show.
Wow. Mine switches from day to day. It's like
totally changes all the time.
It's like
Moment to
someone
moment.
asking me what your favorite flavor of ice cream is. Mine always changes.
Yeah.
What is it today, Justin?
Jack?
Mine's Kevin.
I think
No, actually, yeah. Sorry, I was gonna say I'm with Justin, and mine changes moment to moment. But what I always see and I always appreciate are these beautiful performances that give such life to these men and women that you guys all know. I mean, you guys watch the TV, you know, we're in your homes, and you're like, wow, no, you're Kevin, you're Jack, and I see what you're going through. You know, for us, even on the other side of things, like, I see moments that everyone does on the show, and it blows me away, and it inspires me, and it's, you know.
Me too, and it's also, I have the privilege of not only working with these people, but being friends with these people. They're tremendous human beings, so talented, but great men and women, more importantly. And so when you see these performances they blow me away. I mean, there's no better acting on TV than what my co-stars are doing. And so I'm just proud of them because I love them as people and they're friends of mine, and I'm just so damn proud of you guys when I see stuff like that. It's really, it's fantastic.
The same.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, great. Thank you so much. Oh, can I ask? Okay, I might do one other quick question.
You got a follow-up?
I might have a follow-up. It's a totally different question.
A
I
follow-up
know I'm
is
in
of a
trouble
different
now.
segment.
He told me
Go
to
for
pick
it.
one.
Go for it. Don't justify. Here we go.
How is it seeing, and I know Jack will see this more next season, seeing your like mini-me? Like, how cool is it? Or is it like, was it kind of weird at first seeing like, oh, that's like my...
See Puppy Jack?
Yeah, like little Jack, little Kevin, little Kate. Like, how was it for you guys meeting your like younger selves on the show, kind of, and those kids?
That's a good question.
I mean, yeah, how do you feel about Logan and Parker?
Yeah, that's a good question. You know, it's interesting because they're great actors, and I see them doing things. You would know more about that than I would actually because you work with them. But I see them doing things that I think I'm probably doing subconsciously, like mannerisms that I don't think I'm doing. I think I just do. But I see them, you know, kind of doing that.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool. And then also they're so good individually at what they do that I'm fans of their work as well.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm so excited.
You could probably speak more about that. You work with them.
Yeah, no, I do. You know, and they look up to you. The youngers look up to Justin because he's been there before. And it's also, you know, the character chain and how it goes. They know that that's where I need to go. And I know I'm always reminding Parker and Logan or Blondie and Niles or Mackenzie and Hannah, like, hey, never lose sight that that's you as an adult. So the decisions you're making here in this scene, in this moment, are impacting Justin and Sterling and Chrissy. You know, just like have the smallest hint of that in the back of your mind.
Right.
You know, because that will bridge the gap from that age to the next age to, you know, the adult big three.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Great questions. Thanks. Hi.
Hi, how you doing? My name is Greg from Stager, Illinois.
What's up, Greg?
How you doing? My question is from Milo. It's about the blind date. The other woman, was it actually Rebecca you were supposed to meet? And if so, them still meeting, does it show that you were destined to be
Sorry,
together?
wait, say that again.
Okay, you were on a
The
blind
blind
date.
date on the show that you were supposed to meet?
Oh, yeah.
Was it actually Rebecca? And if so, you still meeting each other?
No, it wasn't
shows
Rebecca.
No, it wasn't?
No, it wasn't. I don't think it was.
Oh,
Was it?
That's what I thought.
Yeah, I don't think it was.
I thought it was leading that way, and it just goes to show that you guys are destined to be together.
Yeah, they were. No, I think Jack and Rebecca were absolutely destined to be together. But no, I think Jack was supposed to meet someone else. He even talks about it the last episode, almost the last moments of that first season, where Jack says, you know, I was supposed to have another date, but I saw you, and that just didn't happen. And also, you know that Rebecca was set up with a different guy.
That's why I thought maybe you were supposed to meet each other.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that might have been the idea, was that, but it was never specific, concrete, if it was supposed to be Jack and Rebecca. But I think it was always Jack and Rebecca. Even Miguel says it. It's always Jack and Rebecca.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah,
thank you, Greg.
Hi.
Hey, I'm Jeremy.
What's up, Jeremy?
This is for Ryan. So my friend, she's sitting somewhere over there, asked me to come up here because she has a huge crush on you, and she wanted me to ask you to take your shirt off.
Well,
Hey, Jeremy.
that's not going to happen right now.
Where's Ryan? Ryan's not here. Sorry, Jeremy.
Did you have another question?
I was going to say this, man.
This is
Yeah,
gonna
he's
be
about
good.
to go Jack Pearson.
This is going to be good.
All
I
right.
respect and appreciate your bravery. No, I really do.
Yeah.
That's actually an awesome thing to get up for a friend and say, hey, my friend loves you. Can you take your shirt off? But at the same time, I really want you to think about what you're saying.
She literally
At this
kicked me out of
moment,
my seat.
in our world, we as men need to represent good. So I love that you're standing up for your friend, but also maybe not the best thing to ask.
She literally kicked me out of my seat.
Yeah, but you could probably say maybe your friend Ryan. Where's Ryan? Raise your hand. Actually, don't raise your hand. Shout. Oh, there's several Ryans in here. I was going to say, you could have said, I would like to introduce you to my friend Ryan because she didn't get a chance to. Would I be able to do that? Think about the things that you're asking for in life. That was great what you're asking, man, but maybe a different way of asking, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Milo. Let's go over here. Hi.
Hi, I'm Teresa. I'm from a little bit north of Chicago, closer to Wisconsin.
How far a little bit?
I'm about 10 minutes from the Wisconsin border, so a lot of it. It's been a long weekend. Thanks for hanging out with us. So my question is, I saw you guys. I was in a different autograph line, but I saw you guys, and I noticed the connection you guys make with everybody that comes up, the shake of the hand, the eye contact, and as an actor, obviously, people see you from whatever show they love you from. The girl in front of me loved Gilmore Girls, and of course, I thought she was there for This Is Us. But how hard is it to be that emotional connection and constantly be present and put out that energy? And now that you've been on different shows that have touched so many people, how hard is it to switch that gear from one person where you're Jack or you're Kevin, and then the next person, you're from Heroes or Smallville. I totally forgot the names because I'm super nervous. But easy?
It's easy. Yeah,
you're
because
pros. It's easy. Just switch it
it's
up.
easy. People, people are when they come up, they are connected, and so if you're as present as they are, then there you have it.
Also, I was gonna say, it's not even switching from character to character. He gets to be Justin. I get to be Milo. And who Justin is a great man. And who I am, I'm okay. But we are in the fortunate position to have people walking up to both of us, happy, excited, wanting to share their stories. So how can either of us or anyone on this side of things not respect and honor that actual human being? Again,
it's
across
nice.
from you, it's nice.
It definitely comes off, and it shows as genuine. And I'd just like to say thank you for the representation of your relationship. I lost my father as a teenager, and to see that as growing into a man as your father's age, and you never got to appreciate who he was as a teenager because you're not there in life. And here you are waking up at his age, and you realize he was just a man, and he was flawed, and being able to have that connection, that's awesome to see. You guys totally pulled it off. It was completely genuine. So thanks for that. Thanks for being my weekly therapy session.
Thank you. Absolutely. Milo, you guys have given, and Justin, you guys have both given some great advice and sentiments. I'm curious, there's a lot of young artists out in the audience. What would your advice be to them if they would like to get into the acting business?
Be yourself. You are what represents, I didn't say that right. Who you are is the most special thing ever. Truly, that's what it is. We can put on all these characters, and I know myself, I'm very much a character actor, but I've walked into readings and auditions and whatnot where I feel like I need to put something on to the character that I'm playing. And I've had producers, directors, casting directors, and even other casts say, stop, we want you. And it was a nice reminder of what an individual brings to a performance. If they bring themselves to the performance, they show up, then it's going to be the most honest depiction of whoever they're playing. So I would always encourage artists, actors, actresses, anything, be yourself. Honestly, be yourself, because what you bring is going to be different than anybody else when you are yourself.
It's a tough thing to do, and also, persevere and keep going. That's also a tough thing to do. And I think, one of the things to remember is that to have success in this business is to 90% of the time fail. That's success.
Get kicked in the teeth constantly.
Yeah, but just keep going, because no one knows what they're talking about. That's what I would say.
Be yourself, be honest. That is great advice. I can't thank you enough for sitting here with us this hour. This has been amazing. Have you guys had fun?
Thanks, you guys.
Thank you for
Thank
coming
you
out.
guys so much. Please,
Much
one more
appreciated.
big
Thank
round
you.
of applause
Thank you
for
very, very
Justin
much.
and Milo.
Thanks very much, guys. Appreciate you.